out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What's y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got two players. Y'all got one.
That's great.
Get back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Rob Watson. No Nick Padone today on the show. Filling in Project Pat.
Project.
Pat McGuire joining us here, of course, on the Big Play Sports Network. You've seen Pat on the Hanford Dixon Show, the Bobby Carp Show. Pat, you got a little shout out.
Thank you, guys. Honestly, I got a little shout out for today for Bobby Carpenter. Happy birthday to the Carp, the General. Shout out, Bobby. He's running like some gassers test or whatever, some conditioning test. He's been talking about it for like 2 months. So I think he's currently running it at the Ohio State University. We'll see how it goes.
Is he the type to run marathons on Thanksgiving?
No, not on Thanksgiving for sure. He's definitely a short distance runner. I know that, but he'll tell you all about it. So if you want to tune in, he'll tell you all about it.
They talk about them sprints all the time.
Yeah, all the time, dude. Rob knows it.
Yeah, Rob cuts the clips.
Hit them
for
gassers, bro.
Yeah.
The gassers ain't nothing to play with, though.
Yeah,
so
facts.
for however old he is,
Yeah,
and
what
they
is
be
it,
talking
like
about
20 of
running
them or
like
something?
20 of them.
How old's the General?
He turns 43 today, I believe. 42, 43, something like that. Which I think was his jersey number, actually, now that I think about it. But
Jack,
happy birthday, Bob.
Jack, what's up, dude?
Not too much. Just getting over that trade deadline. I'm not very happy about it. So
Were you up all night?
Yeah, I was up pretty late.
Texting your sources and whatnot?
Trying.
Rob, how are you?
Doing good today, fellas. You know, just a calm day. Ready to talk some ball with the boys. Watched the Trey Lance masterclass last night.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Hall of Fame game. It was nice to see football was back, but we'll start here. Terry McLaurin officially requesting a trade from the Washington Commanders per Jordan Schultz. Washington reportedly has no interest in moving the star wide receiver at the moment. He feels like he deserves an extension, more money. Washington views him as an aging receiver. We know how the NFL works. Just 29 years old, though. Still years to dominate. Ever since he came into the league, 919 yards his rookie year, but every single year since, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. Terry McLaurin has been nothing but consistent, and I can't for the life of me understand why you can't get this extension done. You have Jaden Daniels, your star quarterback, on a rookie deal. It's cheap. This is the time you can afford to spend the money. Terry McLaurin, 29, sure, but we've seen receivers still be dominant into their early 30s. As I mentioned, Terry McLaurin has been nothing but consistent, and he's been in Washington when they were absolute garbage. When he got drafted in 2019, and really up until last year, they have been irrelevant in the NFL. That's just a fact. He's been for the good times and the bad times. I mean, again, you have Jaden Daniels on a cheap rookie deal. This, to me, is an absolute no-brainer to take away your star quarterback's number one wide receiver when you're looking to get back to the NFC Championship. To me, is just mind-boggling, and speaking of money, to me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Ryan, it's so odd because this, like, the headline or the storyline around Terry McLaurin his whole entire time in the NFL until they got JD was like, oh, this kid doesn't have a quarterback. Like, what could he do if he had a quarterback? Like, who was his best quarterback for a long time? Taylor Heineke, kind of. Like, they had some issues getting someone to throw him the
Kind of
football.
dog,
Now you find a great young quarterback, a guy who looks like he could be a top 5 quarterback basically from day one in the NFL. You're right. I mean, while he's on that rookie deal, that's the time to go out, spend, get the weapons. As he gets older and develops even more and can lead an offense, then you can supplement him with younger receivers that you draft in higher rounds as Terry McLaurin ages. But you could so get off like a nice little 3-year extension here, maybe even overpay a tiny bit and still be off of him by like 32, 33.
My boy Denzel Ward was trying to get his recruiter on last night. So my Ohio State brother Terry McLaurin would look fire in a Cleveland Browns jersey, just saying absolutely no chance we
Isn't
get
that
back.
tampering?
Sounds great. Nah, he can throw that out there. It's a tweet, bro.
Oh.
He can do that. I mean, unless he goes.
You just
and
can't
hits his-
say it to him.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know the rules for sure, but the reality is he's probably gonna. If he does end up traded, we might see him in like a Bills or like a Ravens or something else jersey, something else to just add to the superpowers in the AFC. Maybe a Chiefs jersey. Who knows? But
He'd fit perfectly in Buffalo, honestly. They don't have basically anybody, and they've got a little bit of money to spend. I know they put more money on their defense, but he'd be a perfect fit in Buffalo. That would honestly put them right neck and neck with the Ravens. I don't have them just there yet with the Ravens, but that could honestly put them over there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not a big believer in Joshua Palmer or Matt Collins, so I
correct.
think they're going to need some
And
help
Khalil
there eventually.
Shakir.
I actually love Khalil
Really?
they
Shakir.
got
but
8 ball. They got 8 ball
Stop.
out there, bro.
Yeah,
They got
Stop.
8 ball. No,
Coming off of a 214-yard season last year.
giving Josh Allen Terry McLaurin would be super scary, bro. Do not want to see that happen to the league. But, they're going to send him to the AFC if they do trade him. And, what teams are in the market? Contenders. So, yeah.
I mean, the Commanders' wide receiver room is nothing special. Terry McLaurin's by far the most talented receiver there. Deebo Samuel obviously came over from the 49ers. I don't know if he's fat or not. I keep seeing different pictures.
I saw a video where I was 100% confident I could run faster than he was in the video.
And then
Oh,
you got
wow.
Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, I'm not even sure that is KJ Osborne coming over from the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't understand what the holdup is. I can't imagine Terry McLaurin's going to ask for the type of money that Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are making. I don't know what he's asking for, but I can't imagine it's in that range. So I don't know what the holdup is, but I would absolutely love him on the Cleveland Browns. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what it would take. Obviously, you're not trading a first rounder for him. No way. A second rounder, I don't know, possibly. But if you got Terry McLaurin in this room, I mean, the Browns receiving room is a laughing stock right now, but him and Jerry Jeudy, and this is just going off the top of my head, I could see that being a top 12 wide receiver duo in the entire NFL, right? Like, and to give, when the rookies come in, to give him Jerry Jeudy and Terry McLaurin to throw to, like, then you're giving these rookies no excuses. Obviously, the offensive line still has to hold up, but the weapons, there won't be an excuse, and you can really find out what you have going into the draft. And if this works out and Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel work out, then you don't have to spend a premium first rounder on a wide receiver next season. And maybe they wouldn't anyway, but then you definitely don't have to, and you can spend it on another premium position like an offensive lineman that can come in and start right away.
And I think if you're looking at a spot where Kevin and AB, whether they'll say it out loud or not, know they're probably fighting for their jobs or doing whatever they can to keep this team as competitive as possible so they hit whatever that win quota is to keep their jobs live in the NFL. Like, they're not trying to store draft picks for the next GM to come in and make them, right? You know, so like when you're in a spot where you got 2 first rounders, I believe, right next year, like you can more easily move on from maybe a second and a third or something to go get Terry.
I thought about it, guys, last night, and it would be really nice to see Terry McLaurin here. But all the teams that are contenders are just going to be willing to deal and get away with and give so much more that we would have to overpay to really put in the best deal to get him and give up more than we really should and would be able to survive off without giving up. You know, we're going to need those picks next year. You know, teams that are going to be in the playoffs, maybe they don't care about a late first, but I think he'd probably go for like a third, maybe a second, like something in that range. And teams might be like,
would you consider that an overpay though, or
if it's the right team? No. If it was for us, I would say overpay. If we threw like a third and then maybe a fourth the next season, I would say like, well, the fourth wouldn't.
I would
care,
do that.
Honestly. I would do that in a heartbeat. I mean, at that point, you're just
Debo got a
dart
fifth,
throws at wide receivers anyways. Like, Andrew Berry clearly can't hit a draft or hit a wide receiver in the draft. I know he's drafted a first round wide receiver, but
Good.
The teams with the best odds, according to DraftKings, Commanders minus 250, or excuse me, not DraftKings. I don't know who's odds these are.
Someone's got odds out there.
So
on
these
it.
are somebody's odds. I don't know, but I'm seeing here Commanders minus 250, Patriots plus 450, Raiders plus 500. Those two teams, he'd come in and be immediately the wide receiver one. Him and Jacoby Myers would be a good duo. And the Patriots, Stephon Diggs, whatever. Then you got young talent there. Titans, Chargers plus 1,100. Terry McLaurin on the Chargers. I don't think they're going to make that trade. To be honest, I don't think they need him. Would he be an upgrade? Sure, but I like Trey Harris and
Titans
Ladd
would be
McConkey.
interesting.
Jets
Jerry
plus
and Calvin
13.
Ridley.
Browns come in at plus 1,400. Steelers plus 1,500. Steelers, that's another one if you really want to go in all the way this year. I can see that happening.
What else do they have to
plus
give?
1,600 and Seahawks plus 2,500.
I would throw.
Commanders still the favorite, so the odds are
minus
that
money
Terry
too.
McLaurin can get a deal done
I'd
with
do a
Washington
third
Commanders.
this year and the year after for Terry if it was something in that range,
Yeah.
bro. I would do it. But I just feel like there's going to be a lot. There's going to be teams that are willing to put more on the line, and I don't think we're going to be able to match.
The thing about Terry, though, I feel like is that he's 30 or whatever, but I feel like he's got a lot of tread on his tires. I feel like he has taken a lot of like smaller injuries throughout his history. At Ohio State, he stayed mostly healthy, but in Washington, you're kind of a lot of hospital balls when you got Taylor Heineke throwing you the ball and whoever else is running over there for Washington. But I'd welcome him, but like you said, for maybe a third and a fourth. But
It's like a receiver requesting a trade in the NFL. So I mean, it could just be like T. Higgins, where it's like, yeah, pipe down, we'll do it next year, and they don't talk about it again.
Or we trade, and then he's just like, all right, I don't want to stay anyway, and then he just gets the money from highest bidder because it's just.
Well, Terry's actually been consistently on the field. Like the last 4 seasons, he's played all 17 games, 15
played
games,
through injury,
2020, and 14 games played his rookie year. So I mean, if you trade for him, odds are he'll prove he's going to be on the field.
Yeah.
Well, guys, football is back, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. A lot of people maybe not tune into the Hall of Fame game. I know it doesn't mean much, but for us football junkies, it means everything. Trey Lance, obviously the main headline of that. A bloodbath there. The Chargers beat them 31-7. Trey Lance dealing with 2 touchdowns. You see him putting touch on the ball. To me, this is not surprising. You go to be the backup, fight for the backup role, Justin Herbert. You go with Jim Harbaugh, who's supposed to be this quarterback whisperer. He's just 25 years old. Like the raw athleticism of Trey Lance is there with some fine tuning. I mean, this is what we're seeing. He didn't get really a fair shot. Got drafted 3rd overall in San Francisco. Got hurt his first season. Then the second season basically missed all of it. Week 2 suffered the season-ending ankle injury, and then it was the Brock Purdy show. Like, we have not seen the end of Trey Lance. Like, to me, I think this is just the beginning. He's going to find a home eventually. I was advocating for the Browns to go take a shot on him last season and sign him. Trey Lance is the perfect reclamation project. He's not old. He's still 25. We mentioned the raw athleticism, the upside. Like Kenny Pickett, reclamation project, his ceiling is nowhere close to a guy like Trey Lance's. Yeah. I thought Trey Lance would have been the perfect reclamation project. Probably good for him in honesty that he didn't come to Cleveland. Yeah. I'd much rather be in Los Angeles situations, sitting under Justin Herbert and learning from Jim Harbaugh. But Trey Lance, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to beat Tyler Heineke for the backup in Los Angeles. And if he gets dealt somewhere, I could see him winning a starting job.
Darnold allegations? Question mark. He could be the comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Basically.
We talked about it, Ryan. I thought he looked great last night. You know, just throws that we didn't really see him make before. Like, there used to be allegations that this guy couldn't throw the ball, period. And he was really dropping the ball in a couple of buckets last night. It was good to see a guy we were looking at, Amari in Hampton, did not look how we hoped. But, you know, first game jitters, you know, rookie. Hopefully he could get some feel, bounce back a little. But overall, I mean, I also was impressed with Lambert Smith. Thought he was looking real good at receiver, making some plays. Nice to see the young people out there making plays. But someone who I didn't think looked good that I was low-key excited to see play. Hendon Hooker did not look like he had awareness in the pocket, bro. Bro did a rollout into the boot and just ignored the dude standing right in front of him, just running into sacks. But, you know, football is football. Glad to see it, man. Would have loved to see a closer game. Chargers were firing on all cylinders, though, so it was great to see some highlights.
I hope that the first play of that game is not an indication of how the season is going to go for a lot of teams because that was pretty ugly. But I remember going back to – you got some?
Oh, I just had two thoughts on the game. They were nothing big. First one, my biggest thing is a guy who grew up broadcasting is Mike Tirico sounded like it was week 9 just off the bat, guys. I mean, Mike Tirico sounded incredible.
He always does.
All the tweets on X, not Twitter anymore, they'll be like Chris Collins were saying like the most outrageous out-of-pocket thing that has nothing to do with football. Like the most crazy statement, and then Mike Tirico will just be like, and now it's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and then Michelle was great on the signs as well. But guys, the one thing that I think we really got to talk about, haven't gotten there yet, was the new, I don't know the name of it, but the tennis challenge system where they know where the spot on the ball has been. Yeah, this is something we've clamored for and talked about being a possibility in football, baseball, whatever. I mean, they already have it in hockey, obviously. Like, not obviously, no one gives a fuck about hockey, but I know it's in hockey already. But like, this just proves a point of we knew this was possible for probably at least 10 years. Where the hell was it until right now?
So did they have like a sensor in the ball?
I think so. That's how they were. I think that's how they were doing it and showing it.
Center of the ball, or is it on the edge of the ball? Because before the tip of the ball crossed the thing.
Well, it could probably still be in the middle, and then the automated system.
They probably have one on each side in case of wherever the ball lands.
I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
I could see this going wrong one day. Someone being like .0001 off the first down.
Gene's territory getting the card back up.
Yeah, don't get Gene back out there. Gene's wrong more than the meteorologist.
What do you think, Gene?
It clears confusion, and it's not as game-changing as if you were to go to robot umps. Dude. But there's still an element of when you're down in that pile and the refs don't know what the fuck they're looking at. And let's be real, a lot of times they're just like, fuck it, I think this is where it was. And it can change the outcome of a game. But I kind of like that part, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is cool. But I mean, it's also like, it's just, you look at any sport. Some people will tell you that part of baseball is having these unique umpires with different strike zones that makes every game different.
Those would be
I say, fuck that. You know, I want things to be right, you know, especially now that we're in a world as well where, I mean, if we've talked about gambling from different lenses a lot recently, but like in a world where people are putting money on stuff, like if you can guarantee the most objective or true outcome, if that's like possible and can be done correctly over and over again via technology, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it if my own hard-earned money was on it.
Yeah. If it can stay consistent, I'll have no issues. But there will be controversy 100% at some point this season about the chip in the football.
100%. For sure. Last thing I want to talk about this, we're talking about Trey Lance. You go back to, and I've said on this show multiple times, and you guys know how I feel about this, when people talk about quarterback classes, or, I mean, it's mainly quarterback that they bunch into classes that you talk about, is this class is this strong. This class, obviously last year, the narrative was this is a weak quarterback class, one of the weakest we've seen in forever. And I understand because you're basing it off of people that are scouting these guys and whatnot, but the 2021 quarterback draft class was hyped up. You had Trevor Lawrence, who was going to be the Messiah out of Clemson, hasn't won a single playoff game in his career. Excuse me, won one playoff game in his career. Zach Wilson,
Luke was on that.
number 2 to the New York Jets. Bust. Trey Lance, number 3 to the 49ers, bust. Number 11, Justin Fields, bust.
Ooh.
He is a bust. Mac Jones, number 15, bust. And then you got Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, Davis Mills in the 60s. No quarterback from that class even has an NFL career at this point.
Well, Ryan, I think one thing to note with those guys, I mean, this goes back like into college quarterback classes as well. You can transfer this over to baseball prospects who came in around that time. Really, this can apply to any sport. I mean, guys like Wiseman and Kuminga, maybe it's in there in some way too. Like the way COVID, just like that, not even just like if you were in a pro sport or in college, but like the way that everyone got jumbled around that year, and like some guys didn't get a full year. We saw some guys in college against college rosters that were like totally slashed from what they would have been, like Trevor Lawrence. And like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't saying that Trevor Lawrence was going to suck. I thought he was going to be incredible, just like everyone else did. But like,
I remember I was saying I'll take him.
Dude, he played in a terrible ACC that like a Brian Kelly Notre Dame team ran through and didn't lose a game in, and like that's where we saw a bulk of his final tape before he went to the NFL. Like you can never really tell with these guys, like, and especially with COVID and the way that these games got moved around and like teams playing different amounts of games. Like I think we genuinely never got a true and total look. Like I know Trevor Lawrence started 30 games in college, but like the way things got moved around, I think the timelines just got butterfly affected somehow.
Yeah. Man. All right, let's take our first break. When we get back, flip it over to the MLB. The trade deadline is officially over done with. Stephen Kwan still in Cleveland. A lot of people happy about that. We'll talk about that when we get back here, right on the Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, no Nick Padone. Filling in for him is our
Project
Pat. Guys, before we dive back in,
friendship
to the discussion, I got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state of Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. You see right up there, Fairway Ford summer sale still going on. Never been a better time to go down and just peruse over 500 vehicles on the in stock on their lot today. Chances are you can find your dream vehicle and save thousands of dollars while you do it. Don't let that short drive prevent you from doing that. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com. All right, before we go into the MLB trade deadline, I meant to ask you guys this question before we moved on. I don't think this is controversial. I'm honestly curious what your guys' opinion is. And your opinion on this might have been different after watching last night. Would you straight up trade Dylan Gabriel for Trey Lance?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, fuck Dylan Gabriel.
I think
just
I would.
straight up.
I honestly think I would. If you're sitting here talking about potential upside, and we're sitting here, and obviously we feel much different. The vast majority of fans feel different than the Browns clearly do. I actually think I'm making that trade.
I think also if you're looking at timelines, it makes a lot more sense in a way
only
because
25.
Well,
guys.
yeah, no, that's the thing too. But like when you're looking at like the overall timeline of quarterbacks, like let's say you keep Flacco and Pickett's the one you either move on from or you get injured, right? Like then you have like Flacco is your older vet going to be here 1 year max. Suddenly you got Trey Lance who like maybe if Shadur's not ready, then Trey Lance can play a bulk of games this year and you can learn about this kid and still like actually find out about Jerry Jeudy even more and like run an offense and have Harold Fanning getting reps for the first time. Like I don't know if Shadur Sanders truly is a red shirt or if they truly are looking heavier at quarterback in next year's draft. I think it would make sense, dude.
I mean,
I'll take the kid that was a top pick over the
yeah. I mean just the upside, the pedigree.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
He's less than a year older than
I'll
Dylan
also
Gabriel.
take the 6'4" quarterback over the 5'8".
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
6'4" with the raw athleticism.
Cool,
I mean, we saw, for instances, like when Josh Allen came into the league, and that's the whole narrative about him when he came in was he's inaccurate. The intangibles were there. You have a 6'4", 6'5", absolute beast of a quarterback, and if you can fine-tune him, well, guess what? He turned into a league MVP. Now, I'm not saying that Trey Lance is that pedigree throughout what we've seen in his career, but the point is that I think Trey Lance's upside is better than Dylan Gabriel's, and I understand he's just drafted last year, but guys, he's 6'4".
Yeah.
He's less than a year older than Dylan Gabriel. And I've seen now film where he looks decent. I know it's a Hall of Fame game, and that's not much. But the point is, what am I going to sit here with Dylan Gabriel?
He had that game for the Cowboys.
What am I going to sit here with Dylan Gabriel?
I'm in, Ryan. I'm in. You got me in. I'm in.
Trey Lance played NFL games and put up like regular season.
Yeah, that's the thing. He played that game for the Cowboys. He had like 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Like it didn't always look pretty in San Francisco, but he still produced some wins and some numbers. They were.
I'd love to hear somebody's argument for Dylan Gabriel over Trey Lance. I'll take the dude that's been in the league a while. Because
they're the same age.
Because he's a rookie and he's new. To me, would be the only argument. And what do I give a fuck about that?
You talked about miles on your body with Terry McLaurin earlier. Like the miles on your body, actually, Trey Lance has probably played less football games. He might even be younger body wise right now.
Yeah. Because where'd he come from? FCS is South Dakota State or something.
Yeah, North Dakota State, I believe. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to clip that and get people's opinion on it.
Yeah.
To me, honestly, I obviously am a little biased. I was clamoring for them to sign Trey Lance, and I wanted to work out to make me look good, but it is what it is.
At worst, they both end up being backups. Right?
Yeah.
Still low key have Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I completely agree. All right, let's flip over to the MLB trade deadline. We'll start with our Guardians, then go into it. Jack,
here we go.
Shane Bieber got the news yesterday. He was dealt to Toronto in the morning. Stephen Kwan, 6 p.m. passed, was still a member of the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, Stephen Kwan being back is the coolest, awesome, just base level. Actually, no, I'm not even going to say it's a nice thing because he's a young, controllable star who has not even played 3 full years yet for the organization. So, like, I don't know if it is really a gold star that we kept him through the trade deadline this year. Like, I think Stephen Kwan should be on the roster and really hopefully an extension. I mean, if you kept him now, if you didn't trade him, there has to be an extension coming this offseason, in my opinion, or else it was a waste of not trading him yesterday, to be honest, especially if you looked around the league and saw what some of the packages were. Guys, I don't like Emmanuel Clase, and I really, really, really want to talk about it because we talked about on the show yesterday how bad I wanted Leo DeVries, how much I thought he could be the next big thing, and the A's, obviously, they also moved on from J.P. Sears, but J.P. Sears is nothing special. We could have found something similar to J.P. Sears value-wise to move on from. It took Mason Miller to get Leo DeVries out of the Padres, so man, like I'm upset about that, and I don't know. The more I think about Bieber, did we just trade $13 million for a double-A pitcher with 1 good half, if you think about it? Because, like, if you're going to get Shane Bieber back, like, I understand rehabbing him and stuff, and, like, you don't want to move on from the guy. Like, he's been a staple in your organization for such a long time. But if you rehab the guy all the way back and he doesn't even pitch in the major leagues, like, what'd you bring him back for?
Yeah, the thing about it, though, is, like, the Guardians didn't really do that. It was like $7 million, plus it would have been $4 million with the buyout. Like, he wasn't staying anyway. So if you trade him, he's not going to take the qualifying offer. You literally can't get offered the qualifying offer. So he was kind of gone regardless, I think. And honestly, like, he lived out in Arizona anyway, so it's not
you could get compensation picks back if you just signed him and didn't trade him, though, which would be probably higher value.
Yeah, I don't know that. I would take Cal Stevens as opposed to the qualifying offer comp pick, to be honest with you, because he's already.
Well, where would the comp pick be? Like,
he's already in Double-A. I mean, the comp pick would be 35, 40, whatever it is. I mean, then you're getting a college arm that we don't necessarily know that much about currently. I would rather have this guy currently, but I would have loved to see Bieber down the stretch, like you're saying, for the fans, and honestly, to bring him back after he was dominant in those 2 starts in 2024 was absolutely brutal.
Jack, I don't want to go back to this discussion because we're focused on the MLB trade deadline, but real quick, I do want to say, because we talked about Travis Bazan on the show, and there's been worry that maybe they made the wrong pick, and I know it's super early, and we don't know how these guys' careers are going to go, but my friend who I was talking to named Kyle, he had the same sentiment. He was pissed. He was worried. He thinks Jack Caglione is going to be really good. He loves Nick Kurtz, and who was it, J.J. Weatherholt, the shortstop?
Yeah.
He was talking. He's worried about Bazana that they made the wrong pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's too early to tell. Like, I mean, I can't sit here just because Travis Bazana was injured this year and didn't get a ton of reps to start off like the middle part of the first half. He's back now, like playing solid baseball. Like, yeah, am I a little bit worried because like people who know more than baseball than I do are starting to drop him a bit nationally? Like, yeah, it does concern me, but like,
GG.
I don't know. It's also baseball is the weirdest sport where like, look at Ramon Laureano, who was here 2 years ago and sucked. Like, he was terrible. You could barely run him out there.
He
was good.
To who?
Yeah. What? He just got moved yesterday with Ryan O'Hearn out to the Padres, and he was a part of the biggest move, one of the biggest moves of the deadline. Like, it's just so weird how baseball careers go. He was a huge for the Braves, he was a good baseball player for the A's, rather, most of his career before we got him in the first place. Like, man, like it's so weird how it moves. What?
In our hitters, is it something telling about us
Yes.
and when people come here and hit?
1,000%.
Yeah, no, then it's just
I
I don't know, guys.
I want
Catching
answers,
on?
man.
Yeah.
But let me say this, and I really, really hate to be this person. Like, it's just total, just
Be
bring
that
the
guy.
storm clouds down.
Man.
If you saw what the Minnesota Twins did yesterday, which was selling
Dude,
Correa, just selling everything off, lighting everything on fire.
Trash can, man.
Honestly, I hate to say it, I'd probably rather be a Minnesota Twins fan right now. In terms of like actually going back to competing for a World Series level, I hate to say it, like I'm not saying it. I don't think the returns they got necessarily. I don't think the returns that they got necessarily merit like the players they traded, but in terms of like actually making the philosophical organization decision to tear it all the way down and restart, like I don't think we're in a position. Pat, you can shake your head.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't think we're in a position where
shake your head all you want.
Okay, are we going to catch the Dodgers in the next 5 years?
The Dodgers? No, absolutely.
No,
not.
I think the end goal
Is that the argument?
Here, okay, here. My end goal is winning the World Series, not going to the ALCS once every 5 years, losing in 5 games. My end goal is.
Do you think that
being on top,
the Yankees
winning?
are going to catch it?
What?
The Dodgers? You think the Mets are going to catch the Dodgers?
They have a hell of a lot better chance than us.
I think they're in a completely different.
But I'm saying
The
like
way that the Twins.
your job in Major League Baseball is to win the World Series, though.
You're
Like,
correct.
that is why you have an organization, is to try and get to the top.
For sure.
So that's where
The
my head
Arizona
is at.
Diamondbacks made it to the World Series when they were 86 and whatever 79.
Okay, yeah, and they lost.
Okay, yeah, but you made it to the World Series because you were that close.
Okay, you can get that close. Like we didn't.
That's crazy.
Okay, but here's my thing. Is there any world, is there a Scott's chance in hell the Cleveland Guardians, with where they're at right now, within 5 years are the best team in the MLB?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't prefer us over the Twins.
Okay, but the Twins, here's what I'm saying, though. Here's what I'm
We're
saying,
using
though.
the Dodgers in a guards.
No,
Twins
here's what I'm saying, though.
argument is
If you're not
crazy.
going to be there in the next 5 years,
Neither
and
are
you
the
know you're not
Twins.
going to be...
Neither
You're
are
not
the
letting me
Twins.
finish my statement. I haven't even made my point yet in the first place, dude. If you're not going to be there in the next 5 years, and you know you're not going to be there in the next 5 years, why not try and do the best thing you can to be there in 6 years or 7 years or 8 years, which the Twins are doing right now by moving off of their best players? You're not. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. You're not going to win a World Series with Jose Ramirez as the best player on your roster. He's 32 years old. You're probably not getting the roster back up to being in World Series contention. People are going to hate that, but it's probably true. Steven Kwan is probably not going to re-sign in Cleveland. Shane Bieber's gone. You don't really have your number one starting pitcher. Like, if you don't have all these pieces to win a World Series, your closer just got caught betting or whatever. You do whatever you can to reset and trade the most value so you can one day compete, right?
Who let him cook?
I mean, I guess so, but you traded 10
Bobby
out of your
Flay.
26-man active roster.
Who gives a shit if you're not going to win?
Yeah, so here's the thing, though, is like Duran and Louis Varland and all these guys. Carlos Correa, I can accept that one. I think people were more mad about that trade than I think they should be, because Correa has like one good foot, and honestly, like he hasn't really been playing that well. But the thing about it is, they made all those trades because there's going to be a new owner in town. They gave $33 million.
We're getting a new owner in town.
Yeah, I know that, but like. They gave up $33 million on that Carlos Correa trade just because there's going to be a new owner, because they need to bottom out so that the value is lower to be able to sell it for more money. Isn't that the crazy part, though? Like, the Guardians aren't bottoming out so that they can dump salary just to sell the team. Like, the Twins are literally... Rob's going to step in.
Rob tag in.
So they're trying to sell the team just so that they can get a new owner as little revenue or like promised money as possible. Like, it doesn't really make sense to trade those guys just to have an owner come in and make it more profitable. That's like an NBA argument. That's where the Suns are at right now. That's where the Twins are at. The Twins are the fucking Suns right now.
Close
Elaborate.
Rob.
I'm gonna try
Someone
to,
else.
He brought basketball. Let me talk a little.
Yeah.
So remember when the Warriors peak powers super team, right?
Mhm.
Boom. Now we're smaller. Let's use the Cavs, even though I don't think we're a good comparison to the Guardians for what we were at that time. But
The Pacers probably, because they're always
Pacers,
right around.
Or like
yeah.
when we had LeBron and absolutely no one else, because that's kind of what we have going on right now. So would it have been a good thing? Like, you could make an argument for both ways. We could have brought in more pieces again because LeBron's LeBron. That could be Jose. I don't know if Jose's not the GOAT, but he's a really good player. But the Warriors were up here, no one was catching them. But who's to say it doesn't kind of fall apart for LA at some point, like it did for Golden State? Players could get hurt. Maybe someone else gets caught gambling. We already know their guy was, he had his issues. Who knows?
They got enough
maybe,
translators to take care of it, trust me.
I know they're going to be able to throw bread. They're always going to throw bread. But it's the same thing to be said, though. We tore it down. In 5-6 years later, we had a team. Now we haven't broken through yet, but now we're a whole different team than we were back in the day. So I think you're both right. You're both making valid points. You could go about it either way. Aging star, you could build up, but we got to do it quick because we keep doing this every year.
The Dodgers could have 4 starting pitchers, 3 relievers, and their top 6 hitters out, and maybe take us in a 7-game series.
Wow.
No, that's valid.
Wow.
Jack, real quick before we move on from baseball, what does it say about the Guardians, if anything, that they didn't deal Santana or Lane Thomas?
I mean, I don't get why people are so upset about not trading Carlos Santana or Lane Thomas. Well, first of all, like
playoff push, that's what it means.
I don't like what were you gonna get for Carlos Santana? Like I don't know. Like they're pretty stuck in their ways, I think, with platooning Manzardo as much as it sucks for the time being. Like brutal. I don't know. With the way they run things, I wouldn't be shocked if they try to get Manzardo on like a cheap extension after this offseason, because like I think we kind of saw how not extending Quan Young when you knew it was going to work out kind of came back to bite you in the ass a bit. Like I could see a world where they extend Manzardo in the offseason, and then from there, like they actually let him play first base 162 games a year or whenever he's healthy. So like I don't know. I don't make a ton of it because I genuinely think in their minds, Carlos Santana taking at bats at first base against left-handed pitching is going to be the best outcome for the rest of the season to get them to where they need to be, wherever that is.
They might be more like the Cavs the first time we had LeBron. Just can't get out of their own way. They're making bad moves. They're holding themselves hostage, bro. Maybe it is time to just tear it all the way down.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, if we're not going to catch these teams, like, at a certain point, like because that's why we get caught in this cycle, though, is because we talked about it a couple days ago, like when you're playing Ahmed Rosario and Bradley Zimmer every day, you don't learn about Nolan Jones and Gabriel Arias. Then 5 years later, you're figuring out about those kids still. Like the last time we were good and actually got to the World Series was coming off of like totally bottoming out after a team that went to the ALCS in 07. That team comes out after the 07 ALCS, kind of goes okay in 08. You teeter off. You let everything just shit pan to the bottom. You get your prospects back. You trade people. You move on from Cliff Lee and Victor. And then around 2012, 2013, the kids start to get up to the majors. By 2016, you're back in the playoffs. Like that was the last time you actually got to a multi-year stretch of being at the top of baseball with a competitive roster, was because you bottom out. Look at how the Astros did it and got to the World Series. Like you got to go down at a certain point, and it sucks because it buries tickets. You just did renovations. No one wants to trade Jose, but like to actually get to the top in modern sports, you have to bottom out.
This is facts. Trust the process, bro.
It's brutal.
All right, well, you can't quite get a Stephen Kwan jersey on discount yet. Maybe next year. But let's take a break. When we get back,
wait till December.
Daryl Morey, 76ers president of basketball operations, basically says it's a Mickey ring. The bubble ring was a Mickey Mouse championship. Got a feeling Rob differs with one Daryl Morey. I'll ask him about that when we get back right here on The Big Factor.
We did with Matthew Boyd. The Yankees didn't have a chance. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network.
Talking crazy over here,
Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, Project
Get the
Pat
throne
filling
over
in
here.
for Nick
Fuck.
Padone. Before we dive into basketball, got to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just two flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. You see right above me those ice-cold beers in the cooler looking crisp and cool. Guys, it's beer-flavored beer. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want it to taste. And again, that's beer-flavored beer. Scan that QR code or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys, we're talking about basketball. Daryl Morey, the 76ers president of basketball operations, basically says that LeBron James' ring in the title, or excuse me, in the bubble that season, I believe that was 2020, of course, because COVID, he says it's basically a Mickey Mouse ring. He said, had the Rockets won the title, I absolutely would have celebrated it as legitimate, knowing the immense effort and resilience required. See, now I don't even have to read the second quote. Daryl Morey, that makes no no fucking sense.
So if another team wanted it, was
He
cool.
said-
Well, he was the GM of the
He's-
Rockets.
No, I understand that, but it's
Whatever,
like,
bro.
but he's saying,
Yeah, he's just trolling.
Yeah, everyone I speak to around the league privately agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship. Perhaps the lasting legacy of the NBA bubble is that the NBA should be proud of its leadership at both the beginning and end of the pandemic, even though the champion will forever be marked by an asterisk. Rob Watson, the floor is yours.
I have nothing to say, bro.
Yeah.
That was the most idiotic thing I've ever heard
Insane.
anyone say in my life. And I've heard solid arguments from people who don't play basketball and weren't in the bubble, who played there. Every player talks about how, oh, this is the hardest thing ever because all of a sudden TJ Warren is putting up 40 pieces and Dame Lillard and Jamal Murray can't miss shots, bro. And these are people who are great players, but like they're not the GOATs. And in the bubble, they're looking like prime Kobe, bro.
That's the
sick of
crazy.
this argument, bro. It's a half a decade later. If they were giving away toy rings and Happy Meals at McDonald's, Daryl Morey still couldn't win one, bro. He is sick. He's salty. He is a GM that always tanks, builds these teams up, but he will never get over the hump, bro. He is salty and jealous. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
The thing about it too is like with Daryl Morey, he's just upset that the Rockets didn't win because in 2020 Magic City was closed, so James Harden couldn't really like get one off. You know what I'm saying? So like he couldn't really like concentrate in the bubble. But the thing about it is, if they gave out rings for corner threes with efficiency or whatever the fuck Daryl Morey really values all of the time, great, we'll give you a ring, Daryl. But like they won the basketball games. You can call it an AAU ring. That's probably closer to what it is because you know that you got these tournaments going 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. all day long. That's closer to what it was. But to call it a LeMickey ring is absolutely wild. I saw a tweet that was like, yeah, they were in the bubble, they didn't get to travel, whatever, they had to do all this testing, but they weren't playing fucking slam ball. It's not really like
It's the same sport,
honestly
bro.
though. It's
Everyone-
the same sport. It's still basketball. It doesn't make any sense to call it a Mickey
we
ring.
saw
It doesn't make any
people get
sense.
paid off of bubble performances because everyone had
Paid,
to lock
man.
in.
That's
a valid point.
You
Paid.
had to lock in. You
Yeah.
couldn't do anything else. That's the peak.
Rachel Nichols locked
all
in,
the
too.
real ballers talking about how they loved it, bro. How they loved it. Jimmy Butler's, the Dame Lillards, the Anthony Davis's, high performances. Jokic was looking like a monster. We saw Luka Doncic burst onto the scene in the bubble. If any of these other people won, we talk about, man, like this crazy thing where this young star, this dude, this forgotten player, this vet finally burst through. People got bread. Next thing you know, all those people sucked the next season, bro.
Right.
They were shooting 30% from the field. It switched up. It was over, bro. Everyone had this. It was a fair playing field. The Lakers didn't start the games with 20-point leads. They weren't giving them free points, bro.
Right.
They didn't get an extra foul to start the game. They didn't start in the bonus. They didn't get to have an extra foul. They didn't turn off sliders. Nothing, bro. You played basketball and you lost, man. It's it. I'm sick of talking about this shit.
He's
man.
just so bitter that his plan didn't go according to plan. You know what I mean? Like every single time Daryl Morey has gone anywhere, he's like, oh, well, I got this guy who shoots perfectly for threes, got this perfect efficiency rating, usage rating, anything that you need. Just because it didn't go well doesn't mean it's a fake fucking ring. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's take a break and talk possession,
Yeah,
bro.
please.
I'm done. I'm all set.
All right, you
Get me
heard
outta
it.
here, bro.
We're going to step aside when we get back. I want to talk about the Madden 26 ratings. They're absolutely atrocious, in my humble opinion, as well as what positions position you. Maybe that's the way I'll put it. Obviously, when you think of wide receivers, it's Ohio State, LSU. When you think of tight ends, the first school I think of is Iowa. We'll go through the positions, etc. when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke.
What was that face, Rob?
Rob Watson, no
see
Nick
what I just
Padone filling in as the great
Project.
Guys, today we woke up and the calendar flipped to the great month of August, which means football's back, fall's right around the corner, the temperature's coming down, it's hoodie weather, it's a perfect time of year.
Freezing in here.
It also means that it's the month of the 2025 Great Geauga County Fair, taking place Thursday, August 28th
Let's go.
through Monday, September 1st, 2025. And I have the absolute privilege, guys, of telling you, and this is the first time I'm going to tell you guys, I'm right here on their website, jaugafair.com. Check it out. It has all their information. Well, this offer that I'm about to say is valid August 1st through August 3rd. It's a happy 50th birthday to Hoppy, the Geauga County Fair
Hoppy.
for 2025's mascot, which means
Hoppy!
50% off.
Let's go, Hoppy,
50% off.
bro.
The unk, though.
All right,
The
50% off of all fair tickets.
Happy birthday to you.
You can buy advanced sale tickets now. One adult, $35. That'll get you in all days. All children 6 and under, they get in for free, guys. I'm looking right here at all the entertainment of the events. Thursday, you got a demolition derby. I've never been to one. Another one Saturday. Sunday, the truck and tractor pulls. Monday, the high steel rodeo. There's so much to do, so much entertainment, so much food. Just a great opportunity to stay local, or if you're traveling, come on down to the Great Geauga 2025 County Fair. There's so much to do, and I believe, Jack, what are we talking about? Over the 200th time they've been doing this. If you do something 200 plus times, you know it's got to be good.
Yeah, no, it has to be if you do it that many times. It's just like a try and true. Sometimes 2 + 2 does equal 4, folks. And I mean, what, thousands and thousands of animals?
No, I heard it was like 5,000.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Or like 6, 7.
7.
All right, guys, we're starting here. We're talking about the 2026 Madden, all the rankings. And I want to preface it with this. Right now, I'm on Dov Kleiman because he tweeted them all. I just want to say, Dov Kleiman,
Get a grip, bro.
Dov Kleiman, or Dov, however you pronounce it, is by far the worst and most toxic aggregation page there ever is. So I just want to put that out there. But we start here with quarterbacks. Josh Allen, 99. Lamar, 99. They're 2 members of, I believe, 7 of the 99 club. Joe Burrow, 97. Patrick Mahomes, 95. Then you got a big dip. Stafford, 88. Goff, 87. Herbert, 86. Jalen Hurts, 86. Baker, 85. Jaden Daniels, 85. All right, let's start here. Jared Goff above Justin Herbert. That's malpractice.
Wow.
Jaden Daniels at an 85. That's probably malpractice. And guys, before we go into the list and I give your opinions, by the way, this is probably the most accurate rankings they have by position, because that's how bad the other rankings that I'm going to get to are. That this is the best.
I've definitely seen worse, bro. Are we gonna say there's Jalen Hurts disrespect? No Super Bowl boost? Like they couldn't throw him a 90 overall? I think he said he was like an 86.
86.
I mean, what do you guys think, bro?
Jack, what about our Jared Goff defender? You're a local Jared Goff defender.
He's just not better than Justin Herbert.
He's just not.
He's
in no world.
Overall, though.
No. Actually, I'll stand up for him.
There's Jared Goff a better quarterback than Justin
I'm saying
Herbert.
So make Justin Herbert's overall higher.
Yeah.
But Jared Goff is low key in 87.
So he's rated.
Yeah, he's rated.
It's just
but
Justin Herbert is underrated.
And I also think they underrated Jalen Hurts.
All right, well, let's go on to the wide receivers, because this is where it starts to get, in my opinion, just absolutely garbage. You have Jamar and Justin Jefferson, the 99 club. That's valid. Amon-Ra St. Brown being the 3rd highest ranked receiver is just absolutely ridiculous. To put him above CeeDee Lamb, not a shot. To put him above Tyreek Hill 1 down year, I don't think he's earned it yet. And then Terry McLaurin, I think, is a little too high at 6. Mike Evans, 7. A.J. Brown at 8, a 93 is maybe the worst ranking on this entire list.
Mike
Drake
Evans
London,
is
9.
terrible.
Devontae Adams is number 10. To have Terry McLaurin, in my opinion, to have Tyreek Hill right now above A.J. Brown is absolutely ridiculous. I could make an argument, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, the top 2 receivers in the league. I could make a legit argument that A.J. Brown is the 3rd best receiver in the entire NFL.
Talent-wise, for sure. Mike Evans, isn't Mike Evans like a 90?
He's a 93.
He
comes in at number 7.
That's crazy to
A.J.
me.
Brown,
I don't think he's that more talented than those guys.
If A.J. Brown was on a team where they threw the ball more than 400 times a season, he would lead the league in yards.
Think about Titans' A.J. Brown.
Year. That's what I'm saying. You go back to
Titans' A.J. Brown was
when they were
crazy.
running it with Derrick Henry. The efficiency ever since he came into his rookie year was off the charts. And again, to be doing this when you have, I believe, the Philadelphia Eagles threw the ball the least amount of times in the entire NFL last season and still have great stats and be that productive. The A.J. Brown disrespect is too much.
Devontae Adams over Malik Neighbors.
That's
my
also
God.
wild.
Oh, no.
Malik Neighbors is a top 10 receiver.
Malik United.
Malik Neighbors is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
Loeb
about
would
that.
crash.
Yeah,
out.
can we
he
get
would.
Loeb's reaction here, please? Jeez.
Cornerbacks, we'll run through these ones quickly. Pat Surtain, 97.
Where's Newsome?
Christian Gonzalez, 95. That's probably too high.
Is he him?
He's
him?
very,
I mean, he's him, but
very
is
good.
Is he him?
And
though?
a lot of people put him in their top 10 cornerback list. I believe when it was the ESPN
over
team
like
put out the top
Ward,
10
McDuffie,
positions.
and the boys.
But Sauce at number 3, McDuffie 4, Jalen Ramsey 5, Stingley 6, Marlon Humphrey 7. Absolutely not. Jerry Alexander 8. Absolutely not. He hasn't been on the field more than half the games
the
the last 2
name
seasons.
value on Madden
And to put him above
nasty,
Denzel
bro.
Ward is absolutely ridiculous. And Jalen Johnson rounding that out at number 10.
Bad list. Bad list.
Get the Warden up.
Where's the tight
Get
end?
the Warden
And then
though?
here's the tight end list, which I have a big problem with too. I know I'm bitching like crazy, but to me this is just ridiculous. George Kittle, valid. I think George Kittle is the most complete tight end in the NFL right now.
correct.
He's number
Team.
1. Travis Kelce at 93 at number 2. Again, that's Glaze.
Dang.
Trey McBride number 2. Whatever. But Mark Andrews 4. To have Brock Bowers at 5 is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Broke the single season reception for rookie tight ends last season. Has been nothing but dominant. And to have him at number 5, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't care how young the kid is. He proved that he's literally already a top 3 tight end. I would put him at number 2. I'd put Trey McBride at number 3. And then if you want to slide in Kelce there, 4, fine. But like next year, I don't think Kelsey's going to be a top 7 tight end.
Jack, nudge Joey Faff over there. Ask him
Joe?
what overall he thinks that Travis Kelce should be in Madden this year.
I'm gonna swing the mic for him too.
Nice.
Oh.
This is content.
Lean in, kid.
Big pause.
83.
83.
'Cause
Okay,
he's garbage.
I mean,
Joey-
I drafted Travis Kelce in the first round of my fantasy
Yeah.
league, boys. I think 83 was nice.
Joey, Trey Lance or Dylan Gabriel, and why in under 1 minute?
Oh my goodness.
Trey Lance, he's the far more proven quarterback. Dylan Gabriel is short, as we know. Trey Lance just has the experience.
He's short, as we know.
I don't know. I don't think that's even a question. If someone says Dylan Gabriel, I just don't think you're right.
Wow.
I completely agree with you, Fat.
Emphatic.
All right,
it's like
let's-
emphatic.
All right,
but-
let's end the show, Jack. I love this segment actually. Going over position
That was
you.
horrible.
When you talk about like quarterbacks, you think
Yeah.
of like.
Oh man.
Well, this is where I actually had my first gripe, Jack, with you. For
I didn't. This
First
isn't
of
my
the day.
list.
Yeah, what is this QB?
First
So
of the
for quarterback, you, Ohio State should be nowhere near the discussion. Please name me more than C.J. Stroud of successful Ohio State NFL quarterbacks in the last 5 years.
I did not make the list. The list is courtesy of the score. This is
I mean,
for us
am
to
I
debate.
crazy?
The score is. I mean, I don't know any of these schools, bro. Who are like what are
For
other
Oklahoma, you have
Oklahoma,
Hurts and Baker.
Baker, Kyler,
And Hurts?
and
Are we
Jalen.
counting
Yeah, I mean LSU,
Yeah.
you got
Count
Burrow and
Jalen Hurts at
Daniels.
Oklahoma.
I guess.
I would count that.
Ohio State, you got CJ. Yeah, Stroud.
LSU,
then-
LSU's valid, and especially most recently, you
Burrow
had Joe
and
Burrow,
Daniels,
Jaden
yeah.
Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier. We'll see what that
OSU
plays out.
is
But
not
Ohio
here.
State, no. I mean,
Polar
Cardell
Bear and
Jones,
Arlington.
JT Barrett, Terrell Pryor, like all these guys, they didn't amount to anything. Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne had a chance, but
R.I.P.
I guess
Didn't
give
amount
me
to anything.
Oklahoma. I guess.
Brutal.
bro.
Burrow. Burrow does not count. I hate that fucking argument. I hate that argument. I know Luke's not making it right now, but to say that Joe Burrow is like an Ohio State quarterback, and I deal
Oh,
with,
that's the most stupid.
I hate those
You might
people.
be brain dead. You might be
Those
brain dead.
people
hate that
suck.
You might be
And
brain
I
dead.
He didn't do a fucking thing at
You know,
Ohio
you
State.
need to go into a padded room if you if you associate Joe Burrow with Ohio State.
I hate those people.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
those people.
but they're like people will be like, well, he was lifting in the
That's
in the weight
mental-
room.
That's
It's like,
mental illness.
sick.
That's
24-hour
mental
fitness, whatever.
No, that's absolute mental illness.
I don't give a fuck if you took 100 credit hours there.
All right, running back.
I think it's less than that. I'll tell you.
Running.
that.
I don't know. Quarterback use probably maybe the hardest one to think about.
Yeah.
Running back is a
Because
little more
Clemson was
clear.
there for a little bit too.
Yeah. Bama most certainly. Mark
taking
Ingram,
Bama.
Derrick Henry.
Gibbs is in there.
Jameer Gibbs is a great one. I'm sure I'm missing.
Jameer
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
I'm
There's
missing
always
a bunch of
running back
others.
out of-
Trent Richardson. Didn't
Trent
really work
Richardson,
out in the
yeah,
NFL, but
yeah.
If Joe Burrow counts, then Alvin Kamara counts for Alabama.
Georgia, you obviously have Nick Chubb.
Sony.
Why, I'm not counting Sonny Michelle. Why,
Sonny Michel.
why can't I think of his
He was
name?
good.
I'm not thinking of James Cook.
Nah, he's good though.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Who am I thinking of?
Todd Gurley.
Herschel Walker. Herschel
Yes,
Walker.
Thank you.
Herschel
Oh, we're
Walker.
doing like all time.
That's actually
I'm
Governor
just saying,
Governor
yeah.
Herschel
Bama had
Walker
like
too,
Sean
thanks.
Alexander back in the day. In the
Wow.
Ohio,
pull,
Ohio,
real pull.
Ohio
Yeah.
State.
Zeke.
Maybe Zeke. I mean,
Yeah.
Dobbins.
I
They don't
think-
really
Carlos
ones,
Hyde, I
yeah.
thought was the
I
truth.
go
on to be
I thought
mid.
Carlos
I
Hyde
think
was the
this
truth.
This one's clearly
I'd give
Alabama.
Bama.
I think this
Yeah.
one's clearly Alabama. Wide
Sneaky Wisconsin.
Wide
too.
receiver, it's between three
So
schools.
do you want
It's
star
between three
power
schools.
or value on
LSU,
this
Ohio
one?
State, Bama. Let's start at LSU. Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr.,
Jamar.
Jamar.
Jamar Chase. I mean, that's pretty hard to beat. But then you go look at Ohio State. I mean, Jackson Smith and
This kid's
Jigba,
happy
Garrett
as a lark
Wilson,
over here.
Chris Olave,
Hearing these names.
Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas at one point was one of the best receivers in the league.
Slam
That list
boy.
goes
Boston.
On and on. And then Bama, Calvin Ridley,
Chris Carter.
Julio Jones,
Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Henry Ruggs.
I think it's between Ohio State and Alabama.
good
Or
driver.
excuse me, Ohio State and LSU. No, Rob, I think there is something. I think this is what you were alluding to as star power. Ohio
power
State may
versus
be
volume.
more players in the NFL.
That are good players.
But when you're talking about LSU,
Curtis Samuel.
Their wide receiver.
I mean,
won
right now
you.
they have the best 2 wide receivers in
wide
the NFL.
receiver won you. All these dudes are coming out, and I got to go with LSU. Just
Yeah, you have to. You have
I think
to.
Jeremiah
Top-heavy, but-
Smith could eventually tip the scales. I also think Carnell Tate is a dog.
Yeah,
They're
facts.
gonna like if you want volume. If it's going strictly production, I would go Ohio State. But if
Yeah.
we're talking about the star players, currently LSU. But I think when Jeremiah Smith gets in the league, Ohio State might have the best receiver at a certain point, and that'll tip the scales a little bit. Right now, give me LSU though.
Depends how Mar develop. Like if Marv becomes as good as everyone thought he was gonna be too.
Yeah,
He's
facts.
young. We got
Malik
two guys. that can
Neighbors
be
though
the-
is body.
And then
Yeah.
Jeremiah
And
Smith.
Brian
Malik.
Thomas is him, and
I
Shane
know.
Jefferson aren't
Yeah.
going anywhere,
I
man.
know.
It depends on in the future too where Jeremiah Smith lands on that list too, because I think if he gets to that level of an LSU receiver like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, it's completely over. Like Ohio State forever will have that title.
But does LSU have any of the like in between guys? Because like Olave
really.
and Wilson are still like dogs. Like
Yeah.
those are potential
Rob,
wide receiver
not
ones.
really.
and
What
top
about
wide
Toledo?
receiver twos.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay
He's a big
Him,
year.
though. He is.
Kent
him,
State?
though. He is
Anybody?
him, though.
Tight end you. This one I don't think is arguable. I think it's most certainly Iowa. George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, Sam Laporta, Noah Fant. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but I mean, right
Yeah.
there, that list.
Your newest Cincinnati
I
Bengal,
don't know.
no fan.
UGA with Bowers, and then when the kid comes out,
I'm
that's
Right.
his
big
biggest.
this
I
year.
mean, Brock Bowers. I'm like his biggest fan.
Yeah.
That kid is just an absolute.
He's a
monster.
freak.
What's the dude's name that's there right now? He's so good on college football.
Oh
At
shit!
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
he's
you're talking
insane, but he wears like a coach's wristband, like the QB wristband on his wrist.
That's kinda
When he
tough.
comes out, they might be like two of the like best dudes in that. But Iowa again, it's volume versus star power, and Iowa's got the volume.
I think Notre Dame's got a lot of volume. I think all their tight ends
Now I
get
want to
drafted
figure out who
too.
you're talking about. Is it Oscar Delp?
Yes, he's tough.
Is he top?
It's a sick ass
Oscar
name.
Delp is tough.
I
like,
haven't been hip to him.
Okay.
Oscar's just a really cool
he's
fucking
very
name.
good
If you
at
think
football.
about it.
Brock Bowers clone essentially.
Shit.
We'll just do this one and then we'll wrap it up. Defensive backs.
Oh,
Bama,
we can
Ohio
do
State,
O-line.
LSU. Well, we can do
Oh,
it.
line.
Yeah.
That's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's Notre Dame. That's
God, you had to shoehorn that one in. Jesus fuck.
But everybody,
Eichenberg? Come
DBU
on,
is maybe
baby.
the most like controversial one. Bama, Ohio State, and LSU again in the top 3.
Can we get some Wildcat love on here?
I don't know.
Liam Eichenberg?
I don't know on DBU. I really don't. It was LSU at one point.
Yeah,
but it
for sure.
Those dudes kind of aged out.
Yeah.
Who's even? I'll
Probably
go-
Bama because of Pat.
Bama for sure.
Yeah,
It's
That's
certainly
Tan.
between
Minka.
those 3.
I'll take Bama
Minka.
right now. Just for now, I'll take Bama.
I think so,
But
too.
If Jeff Okuda didn't flop, it could have been Ohio.
Or
State.
Eli Apple.
Yeah. Eli Apple too. Yeah.
Too many Ohio State DBs become memes.
Yeah.
Denzel is carrying. I'm not gonna lie.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
carrying.
Yeah, that's facts.
No, he low key is like Eli Apple, Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
Lattimore had a time.
He did.
Lattimore
have
was
a
really
time.
good.
He had-
Malcolm Jenkins back there
He
too.
was in Mike Evans' head for a little
I'll
bit.
take Bama.
He really
though.
was, yeah.
Give me the Bama boys.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here on The Big Factor. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out to Garage Beer. Shout out to Fairway Forward again, the 2025
Shout out
Jaga
Dennis
County
Rodman,
Fair.
man.
The month is here, guys.
feel like Dennis
August
Rodman
28th
in
to September 1st. Go to
1997.
jagafair.com to secure your tickets. Remember, 3 days for August 1st through August 3rd, celebrating Hoppy's birthday, 50% off
Hoppy.
your tickets for the
How about you,
2025
Hops?
Jaga
Guy.
County Fair.
Hit the
All
town
right,
tonight for
guys,
him.
that's going to be our show. Hope everybody had a good time. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back same time, same people on Monday. Until then, again,
I'll look a
enjoy your
little different.
weekend. Drink some garage beer. Football's here, gentlemen. It's a time to be alive. All right, everybody, peace out.